welcome back to another episode of The Expanse. Today we are watching Season 3, Episode 7, Delta V, or Delta 5. Not sure if that's a V or Roman numerals. Last time, what happened? Right, where were we? Okay, Expanse. So, last time, we had a lot of stuff go down. The Protomecule has created a spaceship and is leaving Venus, which is probably not a good thing for anyone. We picked up Jules Pierre Mao, so we're going to be having an interesting conversation with him and Avasarala, I imagine. We also had Aaron Wright has been arrested, so he's out of the picture a little bit, but he made some very pointed comments about the... Now, hold on. People in the comments were correcting me of who all of these titles and names were. Give me a second, and I will actually pull these up so I know what the names of everyone are. So, okay, we have... Sadavir is Aaron Wright's name, so Sadavir Aaron Wright, which I got Sadavir confused. It's Secretary General, I think I was saying Secretary of Defense or something like that in the last episode, is Esteban Sorrento Gillis. So Secretary General, which I'm not gonna remember his actual name, so we're just gonna keep calling him Secretary General. But he is a little bit... He is a, Aaron Wright made some very pointed comments about the Secretary General and saying that he was somewhat spineless and just kind of went with what everyone was telling him to go with. So the victory of Aaron Wright being arrested felt a little flat and, not quite as satisfying as we wanted it, because he has some very good points, and the leader of the planet is not the best leader one would want, because he's so flip-floppy. We picked up Jules Pierre Mao, we found the kids, so we had a very nice climax of Amos and Prax's arcs, which was really good. We've picked up May and some other kids. The Agatha King has been destroyed and got taken over by a very fast-moving Protomecule. Naomi is leaving by the sounds of it, so she will be heading off, I imagine, back to Tycho, and it looked like on the thumbnail of this episode she's back on Tycho. So yeah, that's about where we're at. I think let's not waste any more time. Let's just get into the episode. And I'm going to be skipping the introduction for this one as well, because apparently it was this episode that had the spoilers in the introduction. So I shall skip the intro. Let's go. Is she back on Earth, or is this a flashback?
But the arrest of the traitor, Aaron Wright...
Oh, I missed those fantastic outfits.
Of Secretary General, and have suffered. We would be justified...
Okay, I want to talk about her framing of this thing, because she's sitting down at a desk, so that kind of makes her feel more approachable. And she has pictures of her family behind her, which again humanizes her, makes her approachable. And then the UN symbol behind her looks like a halo, which, given the religious undertones of Anna's involvement, adds to the sense of like she's a holy savior of the race. And I think this is really cool framing and setup of her speech, which I imagine is like we'll see what it is as we go, I guess, what she's going for.
So I'm asking you to join me.
Is that a skeleton?
Our brothers and sisters.
It's a halo. What's it making? The ring. Ooh. Okay, so it looks like it looks like a bit of time has passed if Avasarala is back on Earth, and if this ring thing has been made. This is a fun way of seeing. Okay, a few months later. So has he been slingshotting for that long? That's a cool shot. I do like the idea of like this slingshotting thing as an extreme sport. Because it does have that like danger and he needs to pin things down. He's just got stuff floating. Interesting way to show the time is passing through a external
You understand me?
Mm.
The real me?
Girl. Did it say belt or heartbreak ballad in the captions? This guy's having a bad time. Yeah, no, don't. Wrong bottle. Okay. Hero of the belt.
But now I'm going to show you the
Uh-oh.
real me.
Now don't try to win her
Put it on
back.
file. I must go dark for the time.
Don't try to win her back. She's
where I go in your
obviously
And win.
not
Only
worth
for you.
Well, it's always gonna go through the ring. Okay. Again, this is the exploration of like how normal people are responding to these big events that are happening in the world.
Could we try that again? So a lot of people think this. Why push your luck?
Because you're paying us?
This?
You had a major effect on those events.
Oh, that-
And that led you to this, the ring.
Has he got the controls to that
Kinda
drone
makes me
thing in
want a
his fingertips? That's
Maintain a ship like this.
Especially if it's not really yours.
Oh, hold on there, darling.
Would you have done this documentary if we didn't agree to pay your legal fees?
Nope.
Well, I might have done it for more scrapes than I can
That
count.
sounds really interesting, and I will get back to you on that.
oh,
so what
poor
about
Alex.
But fair quarter share for everybody.
Who's still
you?
on the
There's
ship?
only 3 of you on board.
Okay, so there's just the 3 of them. Oh,
What happened to Naomi Nagata?
yeah. Where is she at now? On the Taiko?
You 6 months in
No,
jail.
not on Taiko. Okay.
I don't want to see that shit where people are working.
Her belter
If they
cadence
want to
is,
do it, they can do it on their own time.
her belter accent is stronger now. That's interesting. I guess she's been hanging out with the belters for a couple of months, so she's got her accent back again. That is Taiko. I didn't see the.
And you're cranky. We both knew this was coming.
There's another.
We do all the hard work.
Oh, she's got
Girls
color
have to
in
make
her
it look
hair.
like it
That's
takes.
cool. Who's this? Feels like an important character.
Commander Klaus Sash for requesting permission to come aboard.
Is that Irish?
here.
You remember Mr. Harari?
You little
Oh, this
shit.
guy.
He has no place on this ship. Welcome to the Behemoth.
Behemoth. So I think this was the Nauvoo. Anna's heading out to the. Oh, right. So this is the group. This is the group of religious leaders and artists and stuff that was being mentioned in the news articles. That guy kept talking over everything, and I was like, "Sir, I want to watch the news. Shush."
A life form?
Yeah.
Aren't you part of the godly contingent?
No, I came here in a spaceship, not the wings of an angel. I'm able to appreciate the difference. You don't think it's a life form?
There's no doubt in my mind. That is a piece of technology.
Can it be both?
The protomecule was discovered inside Phoebe, an extrasolar object captured by Saturn eons ago that came from who knows where. It transformed Eros, inorganic materials and biologicals, into some kind of zero-inertia missile.
Mm-hmm.
On mushrooms.
The worst part of the meal is real.
So you still have family on Mars,
Ooh.
right?
Straight for the jugular.
When was the last time you saw them?
It's been a while.
So mechanic on a gunship. That's probably
she
one of the most
likes
dangerous jobs you could
him.
have.
Somebody's got it.
So where were you based before you came up the well?
How long's it gonna
No
let's
place in
go.
particular. You know how it is.
Your intake paper said Baltimore.
Okay.
Where?
I did talk to some locals though, and they told me about a guy who was also named Amos Burton, who
Okay, maybe she doesn't like him, but she has learned enough about his past that she wants to dig a bit deeper into it.
was some sort of mob boss.
Oh.
But that couldn't be.
Oh. I'm very curious about that guy controlling the drone, because he kind of flinched and, like, pulled back when Amos crushed the drone. So is it, like, connected fully into him? It looked like he had controls on his fingertips. So is he, like, seeing through the drone kind of thing? Okay, there's definitely some tension there between them.
Nominally operating operational, but they haven't been fully tested, and the railguns won't be ready for a while.
Oh, that's disappointing.
I wonder how much of Naomi's accent coming back is just due to her being around a whole lot of belters now, or if it's an intentional thing trying to fit in more after having spent so long and kind of being labeled as someone who hangs out with inners. She's kind of doing it intentionally to be like, no, I'm a belter as well. Or if it's just a subconscious thing of spending the last few months around belters a whole lot. I do like the idea of the behemoth, as it's now called, being like a belter's symbol. But what is it a symbol of?
Manageable.
Oh, she's got more tattoos as well. Okay, we've got some history going on here.
Okay.
He's gripping the larynx there. I learned recently that it only takes like, oh, what was it? Like a few seconds to start passing out from asphyxiation if someone is trying to choke you like that. So now whenever I see that kind of thing in TV, I'm like, oh, it's not believable, because I'm like, you know, in a few seconds, you know, like, it was like less than 10 seconds, I think, you start passing out from lack of oxygen.
We have to work together.
They're standing very close.
Good of the new Belta state.
Got it.
Oh, he's got a tattoo in his ear. It's gonna be painful to get. Oh? I'm so bad with faces. He was with that guy in the beginning, right? I hate it when they show someone and they're like, you should recognize this person, and I'm like, that's a guy.
Your wife was polite.
Kind of relieved.
This feels very unethical, recording like that. They must be reasonably close if they're getting a live.
How you took ownership of your
This documentary crew is starting to get on my nerves, I think. But also, I kind of understand.
He was incapacitated. Pixie dust.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to
Oh, right. He was the guy that she saw making the deal. Okay. Yeah, okay, so he was involved in the drug deal, and the drug deal killed him.
Or anyone. That skiff driver was free to put whatever he liked into his body. We all are. Until that freedom puts others at risk.
There's some things to, some interesting discussions about, like, how much freedom you have over your own decisions of what you make, and it feels somewhat topical a bit.
I'm afraid that this is the way our lives are going to be from now.
I feel like that's, if you're already on the ship and, like, halfway there, then I feel like that message is a little bit late. This should have been a discussion they had before she left. But I guess feelings can change as you have longer and longer time apart. What are these guys up to? High explosives, that's, Oh, I like that Amos is continuing the plant thing.
You don't care how you come across to other people?
No.
Unless they're kids.
I call them Prax panels.
What's a Prax?
They're both on Ganymede's station.
Ganymede.
Prax is helping them rebuild it.
Nice.
He was my best friend in the whole world.
Why didn't you go with him?
He didn't ask. He didn't have to. I'm not really the rebuilding type.
I heard you shut down Monica.
Oh gosh.
Does that mean I have a chance?
What is with these documentary people trying to get with Amos? Come on, man. I feel like that's... What? I feel like they got some kind of agenda. I don't know how genuine that interest is. And how much is, like, they want to learn more about Amos, because those questions about his past were very pointed. And I don't know if that's like... I feel like you want to build a bit of trust before you start with those questions when you're doing a documentary. What is she up?
It's okay. You're gonna be just fine.
Why is she hiding that she's messing with explosives? Or is it the dealer? Are they gonna space him?
Come on. And we have to start acting like members of a society that obeys the rule of law, not like the animals that the Innas have always portrayed us to be.
That's a fair point, I think.
Want to be...
I think that's a fair point. But they do need to have some kind of punishment for crimes.
After that, anyone caught dealing will be thrown in the brig, court-martialed, and sent back to Sirius for incarceration on a prison barge.
Bit of our power struggle going on here. Ooh, he stepped on her toes and then he put words in her mouth, essentially. So if anything goes wrong with that, it's her fault now. He's grown quite the beard now.
You pulled this one off.
Ugh.
It's gonna be waiting for you when you get back.
Ugh. Bro, you can do better than that.
This is not who we are.
Now we have Belters trying to carve out their identity as a nation when they've been so fractured.
Who do you
and...
think we are? She needs to hear it from someone she trusts.
I also find it interesting that out of all of the Belters, they tend to wear kind of black and grey clothes, whereas Naomi is wearing quite a deep maroon red colour. And I'm not quite sure the significance of that, but it does stand out to me, is that she's in quite different costuming to the rest of the Belters. And she has the purple hair as well, a bit. So maybe, I guess that's... Or purpley blue hair, maybe that's like a shows her connection to, like, Mars with the red clothes and Earth with her bluer hair. I don't know. It just kind of stands out to me a bit, but that she's wearing colour when a lot of the other Belters aren't.
Why'd you have to look?
What is this plotline?
Thank God. I'll help you. No
Kind of like this dude. He seems like a cool dude, but I feel like he's not gonna last. Oh. Is it a protomecule thing? What the heck is going on? She like bit down on something, and I swear I saw a flash of blue. Well, okay then.
I think what you are liars. All of you.
These guys clearly have some kind of agenda,
I don't
not
think
just
anyone
for
on the ship
making
is
a
being honest
documentary.
about. No hard feelings?
Not yet.
Yeah, he's got milky eyes, which make me think he's seeing through the camera.
Yeah, I thought so too.
What are you doing? Get out of there. I don't like you being there on your own. Don't trust these guys. I feel like he's gonna just immediately be disintegrated when he goes through the ring. Yep. Ooh. Okay. I mean, that's a useful scientific discovery, that's what happens when someone goes through the ring. So thank you for your sacrifice. That's unfortunate. Now it's... Okay, cool. Glad we know that is a thing now. What?
Just cops.
Whoa. Okay. You good there? You good there, my guy? You good there, Holden? Okay. So we have a little bit of a time jump, a little bit of a new status quo being set up in this episode. Naomi is on the recently renamed Behemoth, which used to be the Nauvoo, helping to try and establish new Belter order, I guess. We have a bit of a power struggle going on between Kamina Drummer, right? I think that's her name. Yes, so we have Kamina and this new guy whose name I forgot, because I'm very bad with remembering names. You guys should know this by now. I need to start, like, writing them down or something. And there's a bit of a power struggle between him and Kamina. And both of them are kind of the second in command, or, like, trusted representatives of the two different factions of the Belters. So we've got Dawes and Fred Johnson being represented. And then Naomi is also there as kind of... She's not necessarily associated with either Dawes or Fred Johnson, but she is a Belter, and she's kind of the middle ground between the two of them. So I'm very interested to see how that goes out. There's kind of a theme of the Belters having to figure out what their collective identity is, because they've been fractured in different factions and groups for so long. I like the logo that they have, which is kind of like the OPAA, but adapted into more of a official logo, which is cool. So yeah, there's some very interesting themes of, like, how to punish people and, like, when to step in, and what the role of government is in that kind of situation, which is always a fascinating conversation with the whole, like, can the government dictate, you know, when does the government and Kamina as captain of the Behemoth kind of represents the government in this situation, but when is it right for the government to step in and say, you know, you're not allowed to put these substances into your body, or, like, what is the role of the government in policing that kind of thing, and where is it human responsibility? And what is the government's responsibility for punishment, or, like, consequences for this kind of thing? So that is some very interesting conversation and themes and discussions being explored over there. Not quite sure where they're going. I guess kind of heading back to the belt with the Behemoth. Interested to see how that particular plot with the Behemoth as, like, a symbol for the Belters expands. Because it is going to be turned into a warship, but I think it's very significant that it was, like, a religious cathedral, essentially. Again, there's some very interesting themes, which I think I've mentioned before, of this religious symbol being transformed into a almost, like, war symbol, or a symbol of power and control, and yeah, just kind of representing, but at the same time it's also representing a coming together of the Belters and a union of the different factions. And Diogo is back. I'm glad to see him again. I do enjoy the character. He's you know, he's got some growth to do, and a little bit immature and everything, and he's trying so hard to be all important, but I enjoy the character, and I want to see him go through some character growth, which I hope we will. What else have we got going on? We have this film crew on the Roci, which, like, what do they have, like, what do they have, like, against or for? I'm not sure if it's, like, they both just really like him, or if there's a deeper underlying, I don't know. They come off as sketchy, because through film school I've done a little bit of documentary work, and I've been around other students who've done documentary work, And that's like not the way to go about it. You kind of have to build some trust before you get those deeper moments. Yeah, I'm not impressed by their professionalism, but I suspect that they're not on the ship just for making this documentary. Again, I'm not sure why they're so fixated on Amos specifically. We learned that Amos may have been a gang leader in Baltimore, which I think definitely does line up with what we do know of his past. So I'm wondering if, like, Monica, I think her name is, the documentary lady, like, has some history with that, and this is a revenge thing, or like what that kind of thing is. I do not trust them, and I think the fact that both she and the cameraman were trying to seduce him essentially is like a bit weird. Specifically Amos? Like, what's going on there? Why are we focusing on Amos? We also had, at the start, we had Avasarala kind of give the speech about uniting and saying that the Secretary General has resigned. I can't remember if she was like taking his place or something. Not sure, but it was kind of nice to see her back in that, you know, her iconic, beautiful clothing, because we haven't seen that for a while. And yeah, so there's been very much a political shift. Mars and Earth are now friends, apparently. Or at least allies. I'm not sure I'd say friends, given that they were almost destroying each other only a few months before. And speaking of Mars, we have a bit of a discussion between Bobby and Alex. I like that they're friends. I think their friendship is I appreciate that one a lot, because it's like they're the two Martians. And seeing how, you know, they have a similar background, and they can understand each other a lot better than like the Earthers or the Belters would understand them. And I like that she checked in with his family. Don't like that the documentary crew were filming that quiet moment, and I really hope that they run it by the whole crew before they publish it, because given their behavior, I'm not sure I'd trust them to do that. And we also learned that Prax and May are on Ganymede Station and helping to rebuild that. I like that Amos kind of echoes the "he's my best friend in the whole world" thing. Something about, yeah, I appreciate them. I hope we see Prax again. I think, you know, I feel like Amos could have stayed behind and helped rebuild, and I think it may have been good for him to prove that he could do that, and that he isn't stuck in this one-line path, but I think the growth he had with Prax was still significant. I suspect that, given the setup of this particular episode, we will be seeing more about his past, because that was kind of the first thing. Or at least, yeah, I don't know. We'll see more about how his past is still affecting him, I guess. Maybe not necessarily about his past, but how that's still informing the decisions he's making. He's very stuck in his ways and doesn't believe he can change, I think. So his friendship with Prax was significant because he was able to change, to act as someone else's conscience, to save children. And I think that was significant, in a step to show that he is capable and able to change and make decisions for himself. And maybe it would have been better for him, for his personal growth, to stay on Ganymede and help rebuild. But he's not quite there yet, and I think that's very consistent with his character. And then we also had this Belter guy who was doing slingshotting and got absolutely disintegrated by the ring. I feel like his relationship with his girlfriend was not great. Like, if she just immediately ditched you for your brother and you're still trying to win her back, and then, oh, I don't know if it was actually brother or just someone they knew, but because brother is kind of a generic term in the Belter dialect, I think. But the fact that she dropped you so quickly and then was like, yeah, you can come back when you do this cool thing, like, red flags. But I don't think it is designed to be a healthy relationship. But yeah, again, I like the look at how normal people are responding to events that are happening. I think it fleshes out the world a lot more to see, you know, the slingshotters who are doing this extreme sport are annoyed that their spotlight is being taken. So it's cool to see how he, you know, responded to that. And then we learned a bit more about the ring, which, you know, that's fun to know. Let's not go through them. I knew something bad was going to happen. Just not quite that dramatically. And yeah, speaking of weird things, we had the little side plot of the scavenger crew, whatever it was, with this one girl who's setting up explosives and then biting something and having superpowers. Don't know what that's all about. I feel like I saw something blue in her mouth when she bit down. Like, that looks like it gave her her powers. So is that, like, something to do with the protomolecule, or is that something completely new? Yeah. Interested to see what that has got to do with the rest of the plotline, because that felt quite separate from everything else. But we are turning people into superhumans who can throw a man twice her size now, so that's fun. And Miller, yeah, okay, that was the last thing that happened. Let's talk about that real quick. Holden is now hallucinating Miller? Oh, is it the protomolecule? Because there's protomolecule on the Roci. And we've seen it kind of create hallucinations of Miller before, and he had his hat on. Important thing, he had his hat on. That's yeah. But when Julie was being possessed by the protomolecule, she saw like an image, a vision of Miller, essentially. So is that happening to Holden now? Like, is the protomolecule on the ship trying a different tactic where other versions of the protomolecule have been taking things apart and exploring, but they got all the information they need and they've now made the ring? Are they doing a mental thing now where the protomolecule is kind of infecting the crew and making them see things? And theoretically, Miller might be part of the protomolecule because he died on Eros, which was, like, he died essentially surrounded by the protomolecule, so the protomolecule could easily have kind of integrated him into whatever their database of knowledge is. So is it now projecting that back at Holden? That's the only explanation I can think of. Unless Holden is just losing it, you know, which, sure, why not? But I think the protomolecule thing's probably a little bit more likely. I don't know, I'm very interested to see how it's gonna go. I always do enjoy when there's a bit of a time jump in a show and you kind of see where everyone's at now. It's kind of fun going through that, like, okay, this is what people are doing, here's where we're at, here's what's changed in the interim. So yeah, I'm excited to see where we go with this new status quo. I hope we see Prax again. Anyway, I think that will do it for this video. Thank you guys all for watching. You guys head off, grab a drink, get a snack, take a nap, go and do something that's not on YouTube, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.